doing better. Okay? Next slide. Now, how do we become socially well? Okay? Next slide. So what I want to do is I want to discuss with you for a moment the 5 enemies to becoming socially well. Okay? Now, when you know these enemies, you can recognize them when they pop up. All right? When you start recognizing these enemies within yourself, then you can recognize the enemies within somebody else. And recognizing the enemy in somebody else doesn't make you look at them differently, but it helps you navigate with them and understand, so it will decrease conflict, okay? Now, next slide. The first enemy we're going to talk about is projection of self, okay? Freud famously suggested if you don't like a person, it is because they remind you of something you don't like about yourself. Wow. That thing hit me because as a leader at both hospitals, I am held to a standard to ask myself when I look in the mirror, Aaron, what energy are you projecting to your staff? Real story, I was walking with a new employee one day and I was walking around with her and she was asking me about the departments and I was just telling her how both departments are. She was like, well, Aaron, I know a lot of changes are happening. How do you feel? People get upset with you. I said, the most important thing is not how people feel about me, it's how I feel about people. The most important thing for you is not what people feel about you. It's how you feel about them. And I make a choice each and every day to have positive thoughts towards everyone on my team. Okay? Next slide. Now we have unconscious conflict. Okay? This is living in your head. Okay? We often project traits we are uncomfortable admitting, such as selfishness, hostility, and insecurity. This one is kind of challenging because you got to get to the root. You got to unpack. Why are you upset again? It's because of this. Okay. Why are you upset again? It's because of this. And then what you realize is somebody's going through something internally, and you got to figure out how to navigate them out of that unconscious thought. Okay? Next slide. Defense mechanism. This is a famous one. By focusing on the flaws of others, the mind hides its own uncomfortable aspects, preventing us from having to face them directly. Come on. A lot of times when you really interact with people, and I'm going to be real with y'all, the way I learned a lot of these is like parenting with my children. My kids, they do all of those bonding. They trauma bond, they negative bond, they gossip bond, they talk about me and their mom, they concoct plans, you know. And my son does this all the time. He's 10. When I really challenge him on being better and I really make him do stuff, he starts to project things on me and he starts to have a defense mechanism because when he becomes uncomfortable, then he starts calling me names. He's like, Dad, you're mean. You're evil, Dad. You're messed up. How many of us have said this about somebody? How many of us have labeled somebody because we're trying to hide something within us? But if we can have a department or a unit or a hospital where we're okay walking in our authenticity and our flaws. My people tell you, I can't spell. They will tell you. And sometimes I mess up on pronouncing things. But they laugh at me and we make it fun. I don't hide the fact that I can't spell. I don't get angry when I put a word up and they say something about it. Real story, it was so funny. Tracy and I was meeting with somebody and I usually write things on my board because I'm like a visionary. So I'm writing stuff on my board and I was going real fast and I misspelled the word. So we was meeting with an employee and after we met with him, we had like a pretty serious conversation. He walked out of my office and said, "You spelled that word wrong." True story. Am I lying? It wasn't the fact that he didn't perform well at his job. It wasn't the fact that we just want him to be better. It wasn't about that. It was about that letter on the board. And I can't spell. Next slide. Ambivalence. This was a deep one for me. Few noted that love and hate can exist simultaneously, meaning negative reactions can stem from complex, unresolved feelings. That's powerful because sometimes I have to walk on eggshells, As a leader, sometimes you don't want to, when you have something challenging to say to an employee, or if it's a meeting, sometimes you may want to tiptoe because there are two emotions you're caught between. You are battling how you feel emotionally, and then you're battling how you feel positively, and it's like a war going on in your mind. And I'm like, okay, reflect, release, response. Reflect, release, response. And I'm doing this in real time in my head. And by the time I get to the person, I'm able to understand. And some people may feel this way to you. It may be a day where a person is having a bad day. They genuinely like you. They genuinely rock with you. But it's just, that day is just a stressful day, and hate has won the battle. So if hate wins the battle, what you do is you have to project love on them. You have to walk them out of that emotion and say, it's okay. Don't do this all the time, but it's okay. And what I try to do too is I try to look for patterns of behavior. I don't try to just be reactive off one behavior that I'm shown. Next slide. Transference. Dislike can also be a form of transference, where past negative emotions towards someone else, such as a caregiver, are projected on a current person. This is mainly what happens if you're a certain race, or you're a certain gender. You know what I'm saying? If you have these preconceived notions to this gender or this race, you're not really mad at that gender. You're just projecting something based off your feeling for the whole people. If you dated one man who was short, and then you see another short man come, you like, oh, all short men. You see a short man and you does that make sense? All right, next slide. All right, so how do we be socially well? And I'm coming to an end. Number one, just be honest. We created a safe space today. You got a sticky note. Be honest. Be honest about what you're reflecting on based on me speaking. Let's release it today. Let's not take it out with us. I want you to leave better than you came. So be honest with yourself. And I'm grateful that I have a team and a boss that can be honest with me and that can tell me about myself. And we have those conversations because we genuinely rock with each other. We genuinely have an organic bond. Be uncomfortable. Sometimes it's going to get real uncomfortable. Sometimes it's going to be outside your comfort zone of what you have done before. Yeah, you don't want to speak to them, or you had a bad relationship with them in the past, but be uncomfortable, okay? Be well, right? We all have the ability to be well. We all should want to be well. We all deserve to be well, okay? I want to leave you guys with two quotes as you ponder.